11 South African contemporary artists are part of a group exhibition titled Mixed Company that is currently being hosted by the Norval Foundation. Running until the 31st of May, the exhibition explores the act of gathering by presenting various situations in which people meet with one another, pictured through the eyes of these 11 creatives. To speak to us more about this, we are joined via Zoom by Curator Khanya Mashabela and one of the participating artists, Dada Khanyisa. Very good morning to you two. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
Now, Khanya, I'll start with you. Speak to us more about where the concept for Mixed Company comes from and what you wanted to document through this exhibition.
Well, the exhibition was partly inspired by artists making work like Dada. And the idea was that I wanted to, in the course of the pandemic, where we've all kind of been isolated, I wanted to think about what it means to kind of be together and to explore social gatherings.
Dada, how did you become part of this group exhibition and what does being a part of it personally means to you?
So the work was part of an exhibition I had beginning of last year, and it was acquired by the Norval Foundation. So Khanya curated it from their collection. As she said, it was suitable for the brief and what they were aiming to do with the exhibition.
So what kind of value are you adding to this kind of exhibition, and what is it about your creative process that you thought the curators and the organizers of this exhibition deemed it fit that you should be a part of it?
I think I offer variety, and the work does fit the description, and is suitable for the show because it's a number of people standing next to each other. And also what Khanya was saying with the pandemic and us not being able to be around people, it kind of went against that. And it's mostly because the work was produced before the pandemic.
Yes.
So there was something about what it looks like and how people are positioned that made it appealing to Khanya. And I think that's how I made it into the show.
Okay. Now, Khanya, the concept of gathering has taken a whole new meaning due to the pandemic. So why was it important for you to curate a project such as this one?
I would say that when we think about the pandemic, because we're still inside of it, it's hard to come to terms with the implications of what that means in our lives. But something that we do have kind of a distance from is the feeling of being around each other, whether it is in Dada's work for a party or whether it's at church or for sports games. And I thought it would be interesting to explore some of the aesthetic and political implications of what it means to be together, particularly for Black people, for working class people,
yes.
Some of which you see in Dada's work.
Okay, now Dada, what's your understanding of the working title Mixed Company?
Mixed Company, I think it's quite direct in that it's about people. It's about different kinds of people gathering. Mm-hmm. It can be in a conceptual sense, or even like quite literally, as indicated by my work. So yes, it's just number of people being in the same sitting.
Okay. Now, Khanya, who are some of the artists that have been picked to be a part of this exhibition, and why was their work befitting for the interpretation of the title Mixed Company?
Well, as Dada says, the idea of mixed company was both literal and kind of metaphorical. We've got 11 artists, as you said, from Southern Africa, so Zimbabwe and Namibia, and a mix of modern and contemporary, which means 20th and 21st century. Mm-hmm. So we've also got Tenjiwe Nkosi, Kresia Mokwazi from Zimbabwe, as well as older artists like Gerard Sokoto and Salbi Mvusi.
Okay, so what is it about them that you thought you should just rope them in this exhibition?
Well, the exhibition is a mix of works that are from the Homestead collection, which we have at Norval Foundation. So just partly works that had inspired me and that I thought gave a really interesting kind of example of what it means to be together and the importance that that has in our lives.
Okay. Dada, take us through your pieces of artworks that are part of this project and the themes that you explore through them.
So the name of the work is Underrated Form of Intimacy. In the picture, you see a group of people who are in the club, and the figures are taking on the roles of club goers. You know, you have the person who funds the experience, you have the person who keeps the experience going, and there's someone who's sneaking her friend into VIP, which is a very common practice in club culture, where you find a way to get a friend of yours into VIP. So I was intrigued by that idea, but also you can look at it as a friend helping her friend up after she failed to get up on her own from busting a Vosho move. So there are various ways of interpreting what you see, but it's definitely focused on what goes on in the club.
Well, it can definitely be read in an abstract sense, and I quite like the fact that you articulated the roles of each and everyone in that particular picture, because you described, you know, the role of the one who's funding the experience and those who are enjoying the experience. But in a broader sense, Dada, what story are you trying to tell through this picture?
So with the title being The Underrated Form of Intimacy, we'll focus on the act of sneaking someone into VIP. That's an underrated form of intimacy, because you know, that's you allowing someone into a very exclusive experience. You know, they get to they get to experience the club in a very in a way that the general attendees don't get to do it. And you know, it's an act of love, you know. Okay. Also, the act of helping someone up from a Vosho is love. You know, it's underrated that you know, you see what they're trying to do, but you know, you also see that they're struggling. So you lend a helping hand. So the title and the characters and what is going on focus on those themes of helping each other, and you know, in a very, I can say it's unconventional. It's not the kind of help that most people would think is worth it, but I was very inspired by those little acts of love.
You know, I quite like your thought process and your creative process. Actually, I never looked at it that way. But thank you so much for letting your creative juices flow into this project. Now, Khanya, describe for us what art patrons and enthusiasts can expect when they view the body of work presented by these artists for this exhibition.
Well, I think that what you'll experience, and partly what Dada's work does in the room, is a feeling of being enveloped in people, an experience that I think a lot of people are missing in a time like this. And of course, Norval Foundation is a world-class institution. So it's quite an experience in that sense, to be surrounded by art in that manner.
Now, Dada, where did you have to go creatively to produce the art, the artworks that you're showcasing for the Mixed Company Group exhibition?
I'd say first up was the club, and you know, taking in what's going on, research. I'd call it research, and I took that to the studio, drew it down, sort of to build this story, the image. And then worked with the materials that wood and paint. So I carved the figures and painted the panels that needed painting. So I think that was the direction of like the creative process.
Okay. Now, Khanya, just briefly give us more details on when and how those interested can view this exhibition.
Yes, so Norval Foundation is based in Steenberg in Cape Town. Anyone who would like to come, you can buy a 120 Rand access pass, and that gives you access for a year. So we think it's quite affordable and quite accessible.
All right. Dada and Khanya, great chatting to you two. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And joining us on Zoom is Curator Khanya Mashabela and contemporary visual artist Dada Khanyisa. And they've been speaking to us about their exhibition that is currently being hosted at the Norval Foundation Gallery titled Mixed Company.